the Only Leeds Bros show.
Well, hello everybody, welcome back to Only Leeds Bros for the match reaction. Leeds United 2, QPR 2 after being 2-0 down. Leeds United come back to grab a point down at Loftus Road. Not the worst result, could have been better. Dylan, we'll pass it straight off to you. Thoughts on the game? What could have been better?
Well, personally, I'm actually quite pleased, to be fair, that we got the draw. I was very nervous. I'll never bet against Leeds to lose. I'll always say Leeds are going to win. I was nervous, throughout the whole season, Darren. I think I've said it to you numerous times. QPR was the one that I was very hesitant on. Couldn't really get into the game into the first half, to be fair. Now I'm watching their men in the two goals that were involved. I thought Rotwell was very poor today, considering that he got the start, and we were all vouching for him. But who I'm actually overly pleased with? Straight off the negative, go to the positive. Willie Nanto. I thought Willie Nanto, when he came on, he showed character. He injected some sort of clarification into the game, you could say. I'm very pleased, to be fair, with Nanto, considering just for so long him and Ramazani, they couldn't really get a look in. I thought Solomon was okay. I thought James was very poor. To be honest with you, I thought the defence at times was very ropey. Tanaka, par, you could say. Pero was non-existent. So when you look at it like that, considering all the players that said that, for me anyway, weren't up to the standard of what they usually would be, I take the point there. I'm happy. I really am happy. I know that sounds mad, but I am happy.
Yeah, Dylan, look, I agree with you as well, and I think there's a couple of disappointments in there, and there's a couple of things that we need to take from that loss, exactly like what happened at Portsmouth. We need to take the, kind of the negatives out of that and right them wrongs. Like what you said, I think Rotwell was poor today, Dylan. He gave the ball away an awful lot, and it's not usually his type of game. And Daniel Farke did allude to it in the press conference as well, that he doesn't really kind of like playing him that much, the 3 games in 6 days, because he can't do it. And myself, you and Charlie obviously spoke about on Chat and Leeds, and we didn't really know where he was coming from. Was that the reason? Is that what Daniel Farke means, that he basically drops off then, as his level drops off if he is playing, consecutive football? I still think, though, it was better than what it would have been if Gruev was in there. I know Rotwell was poor, but Ilya Gruev for me and Tanaka just doesn't work. But like you said, a lot of under par performances today. Like you said, Dan James, he was poor today, Dylan. And it's sad to say about Dan James, because he's usually so good for Leeds. His output for Leeds is usually so good. Again, he was non-existent today. I thought Solomon found it hard to get into the game. I know he was obviously a little bit annoyed when he was coming off, but it was probably the right decision, because he couldn't really impose his kind of game at all. Like what you said, Joe Pirro as well, non-existent, no real chances, only the one in the first half that went over the bar. But I suppose it is one of them, Dylan. It's 8 games to go now. The international break is up now. There's a chance for these players to kind of regroup, rest. We do have a couple going away on international duty, so we'll be keeping an eye on that with a keen eye with the games that they're playing, and hopefully they come back unscathed, especially, the likes of your Tanaka, James and Rodon. We need to be keeping a look at them. So it's 8 games to go. But you look on the positive side of it, 2-0 down, to come back, draw 2-2, take the point, and QPR notoriously isn't a happy hunting ground for Leeds. So we take the point and we move on. 3 points clear as it stands at the moment. There's a massive steel derby tomorrow with Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United, and anything can happen, can't it?
Yeah, exactly. Anything can happen. But going back to what you said there, at the end of the day, there's a point on the board. We're still taking away. I've been saying the last few games now, we concentrate on our game. Don't be worrying about Sheffield, United, Burnley, Sunderland. We just do our bit. Going back to it though, you could say, going back to the 2 goals, I thought Brendan Aronson was very poor again today. And to be quite honest with you, maybe that's at the giving Farke second thoughts, considering that number 10 position. If Nanto does drop in there, if he does play Pirro, I don't really agree with Pirro in there, but the Nanto one I'm all for, even Solomon, or even Ramazani to a certain degree. But then the second goal, Freeman in the box had it down. At the end of the day, this is the team that's fighting to finish first. This is the team that's looking to get promoted. Shouldn't be doing that sort of defending. It wasn't good enough. Simply wasn't good enough. Laxy daisy with the passing. There was no urgency. There was no commitment in the passing. But as you said there, to come back from 2-0, show some sort of character, and to get the 2 goals, to seal the point away from home, I'm pleased. I know it sounds mad, but I am. I am pleased considering as well away from home. It's an early kick-off. London, it was all against us. I'll take the point.
Yeah, and it is, Dylan. It's one of them you kind of you take it on the chin and you moved on, because really, Dylan, when we went 2-0 down, and let's be honest with ourselves, that QPR team, they're a poor side, aren't they? Like they're in no great shape. So it was two very, very poor goals we gave away. The first one, just horrendous. I've no idea what Brendan Aronson is thinking there. It's a blind pass in your box. I don't know what he's thinking there. It's one of them where if you're under a bit of pressure and you're not too sure, we'll just get rid of it. Just knock it out for a throw and reset and go again. He doesn't. He gives it away. And let's be honest, it's a brilliant finish. And Mez is getting nowhere near it. He's caught out. The second goal is the one that gripes me a little bit more, because we're not even trying to stop the cross. He's free as a board. He's time to pick out his man, and Steve Cook is free as a board in the box. Brilliant header. And it's 2-0 then QPR. And then you're kind of thinking, we're down and we look like we were out, and even in our chat and the watch along, a lot of the comments were game over, and I did feel like that at the time, and I probably felt like QPR could go win this 3 or 4, didn't it? That Leeds just, they never arrived at all in the first half, but we get a little bit of luck with the goal. I think it probably was offside from Junior Firpo, but after listening to Daniel Farker during the weekend, the amount of decisions that have gone against Leeds this season, penalties, the Joe Pirro one as well, that was ruled out for offside. There's a lot of decisions that in this campaign that have more gone against us than they have gone for us. So it's about time that we got a little bit of luck today, and we did, and it brought us back into the game. And then Jaden Bogle then as well, lovely finish then to make it 2-2. Look, it could have been more, but it could have been worse as well, couldn't it? It really could. So, like what you said, we take the point, we move on. We hope Burnley slip up today. We hope Sheffield United slip up as well tomorrow. And there's 8 games to go. It's massive now. It's really, really coming down to crunch time, isn't it?
Yeah, look, as I said, it's simply down to the players' mentality at the end of the day in Fark. And to be honest with you, I can give Fark, to a certain degree, some sort of praise. He's never really brought anyone on at half time, and he did today. So, to me, that shows some sort of, right, I need to change it up. Something that we've seen week in, week out for the last, whatever, how many months at the start of the season, that the 70-minute course, as I'd like to call it. And it's always down to, for me anyway, what is plan B? Where are we going to bounce back? How are we going to get the win? Sheffield United and Sunderland, to be fair, I didn't think we played well. A bit of luck, you could say, to a certain degree, but character, mentality, to grind out the win and do what we needed to do. We tried it to a certain degree today, but it didn't work. So maybe you could say another negative, going into games away from home, we need to be on the front foot from the get-go. It's too slow. It takes us too long to come into the game. But as I said, bringing Nanto on at half-time, quite a surprise for all of us. I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
And I'm actually quite pleased with it. For Nanto's himself and for us as fans to see that Park was willing to make that change. He could see it, that we could all see. We were all crying out for, he's not going to do it. He's going to wait till the 70 minutes, but he done it today. And to be fair, if he hadn't done it, we probably could have possibly lost today, because I think Nanto made an impact when he did come on. It's crunch time now, as you said, 110%. Obviously now we have a bit of a break now till the end, after the international break, and obviously myself and you are going over. But it's a must win. There's no messing about anymore now. It's
I think our home games is it now, then like that
Yeah.
Swansea. I think we look, you have to be winning that. It's like there, you've gone down there, you're tough, you've picked up a point, so now you bounce back again, don't you?
Yeah.
You go, you pick up the 3 points then against Swansea, and then it's down to 7, and it's going to come around like quick and fast as well. So 100% I agree with you. I think Swansea now, it is a must win, isn't it? And you'll have some people say, well, no, it's not really. I think it is now. They're coming to must wins, aren't they now? It's getting to that stage of the season. Jam says, for me, 2 poor goals to concede, but again, positive on it. We went 2 down. I thought it was going to be 4, and I did as well, buddy. But we dug in and we got the point. Well needed break now for some of them, and I agree, buddy. And it could be a blessing in the skies now, this international break. Let's hope it has the reverse on it. That's what it did last year, that these players could deal with a little bit of a break this time around. E. Moore says, got to give Mez some flowers today, made some crucial saves. He really did. The 1 point blank as well when Leeds got back to 2-2. It could have easily been 3-2. He was good today, Ilan Melly, I do have to agree. Dr. Cox says, still crack a smile. I love it. Gavin James says, Chef always find a way, but for us, 5 points out of 12, no, not good, really. Yeah, it's not really, but I think it's coming. They're going to slip up as well, Gavin, though, aren't they? They are. Dillo, put your money on Leeds getting 100 points this season. Ian is positive with that one as well. I'm not going to stay too long on the match watch along, lads. They'll have the young lads party to get to as well. Just said we'll come on and give our thoughts. Dylan, let's come back. Let's bring it back to the Joe Rotwell situation a little bit. Obviously, he started today. We've obviously touched on it. Let us know your guys' thoughts in the chat as well. We did say he was poor. Does this now have the reverse effect of what he basically done that was very good against Millwall? Will this now pivot Daniel Farke to go back for his away games, knowing he had Ilya Gruev back in there? Do you think his performance was that bad enough today to sway it?
No, I probably think it was just, London away from home and a half-12 kickoff. That's solely what I'm putting it down onto. At the end of the day, not just Rotwell. Rotwell was poor, don't get me wrong, but the defence was all over the place as well, lads.
Yeah.
And Pirro was non-existent. So, I know you're saying let's discuss the Rotwell situation, but in the last game, he was my man of the match. He was probably most people's man of the match. But yeah, he did play very poor today. To a certain degree, yeah, you probably would say Gruev away from home, but every time Gruev's been on, he's been very poor as well. That's one game. Rotwell wasn't great. I'll give him a second chance.
Yeah, so Ian Ward says here, Rotwell at home, Gruev away, get the points, collect the money. Good one. Dr. Cox says, Gruev, no thanks. He doesn't offer what Tanaka and Rotwell do. Yeah, they really don't. And that was probably my thinking as well. Today, Dr. Cox we obviously seen in Millwall how good Rotwell was and then how poor Tanaka has been with Gruev. So that's why it was 100% behind Joe Rotwell starting today. He didn't show it enough today for me. And I thought some of his crossing and his corners were poor as well, hitting the first man, which is very unusual for him. And then also giving the ball away a lot. There was a space there about 10 minutes every time the ball came near him. He was just giving it away. And you can't be doing that in this division. So it needs to be better from Joe Rotwell. Dylan, I think we wrap it up there. Any final words before we finish it up?
Well, just thanks to everyone again that tuned in. Me and Darren are really close to that 2K mark. Just real quick, briefly, we started this back in August. Charlie and Nanto.
Charlie,
yeah. Brendan yeah.
Good show.
I agree. Just we started this in August and to become so far what we are now is just it's madness. Now obviously we're not as big as your Jer and Joe and etc. And we look up to them to a certain degree. But I'm loving this channel, loving everyone I've meeting along the way. And thanks very much, everyone.
Charlie from Chatting Leeds says here, Nanto for Brendan for the rest of the season for me now, lads, and I probably think I have to agree with you, Charlie. I thought Brendan was very, very poor today. He's very hit and miss. I thought he was decent against Millwall, but he dropped his performance again today, and you can't be having that. It's come with the crunch time, isn't it? Two defensive with Gruev and Tanaka on the pitch, 100%. I agree with you, Dr. Cox, 110%. No, I don't think so. Rotwell still must be playing for me. I've seen an under fives team defend better for the second goal, and Brendan was poor once again, says Jam. Chatting Leeds says, given was 2-0 down, I will take the point happily. Yeah, me too, buddy. And I think that's probably the hope that we kind of, the silver lining that we hold on to this, isn't it, Charlie, that we were 2-0 down and to come back and, draw 2-2 and pick up a point. It's good. It's a good mentality from this side. Team set up different at home. If you want promotion, you grind out results, 100%. Yes. Yeah. And thanks for the great content. Cheers very much, Sean Healy. Really, really appreciate that, buddy. Doing great, lads. Thanks very much, Charlie. Love that. Willie to start in the 10 against Swansea, my man of the match today. Love you too. Respect, lads. Thanks very much, Paul. Love that comment. Happy days, pal. Great draw. Last season we lost 4-0. Haven't gone 2-0 down today. We got a good point. Good result given what happened. And that's exactly it, Richard. I think we were all fearing as Leeds fans at 2-0 down. I think we were all thinking another 3 or 4, weren't we? But we done enough. We got the point. And as you said, nail on the head, it's a great draw, isn't it? Hopefully players will feel more refreshed after the international break. And that's it, Leeds on top, isn't it? That's the hope that this international break this season has the reverse of what it had last year. That has a positive impact on these players, that they can have a good rest, get the legs recovered for the last 8 games, because it's going to be a slog and it's going to swing in roundabouts these last 8 games. Helen Walker says, after being 2-0 down after what happened there last season, you take a draw. Very, very good point, Helen. Yeah, it's an improvement on last season, 100%. Sean Healy says, we'll be buying you a point on the 10th. Yes, legend. Thanks very much. We'll buy you one back, buddy. We'll buy you one back. Jam says, smashing the lads, you both deserve all the love and support. You again. Choking me up, man. Thanks very much, Jam. Love that, buddy. And thanks very much for always being there for us, buddy. Tabby says, happy St. Patrick's Day. See you for the 29th. See you for points the 29th. Oh yeah, for the 29th. Sorry, I was read that completely wrong. Yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day to all you out there that do celebrate it as well, and we will see you the 29th for the Swansea game, buddy. It's 0-0 at the moment between Burnley and Swansea. Let's hope they can do us a favour. Let's hope they do us a favour. Paul Brennan says, show strong mentality to come from 2-0 down to get a valuable point. Still feeling positive. Keep fighting. We all love Leeds. Absolutely love that. On that note, lads, we'll wrap it up. I'm just conscious all the family and everyone is in there for the little lad's birthday party. So again, thanks very much to absolutely everyone who supported the channel. Before you leave, please don't forget to slap a like on the video and hit subscribe to the channel. Jam says terrible dad jokes there by me. Yeah, love that, buddy. Yeah, thanks very much, everyone. We will be back as well for your player range. We'll get that video out to you as soon as we possibly can, and then we'll have a few bits then lined up over the international break here on Only Leeds Bros to try and get a couple of people on and give you good content over the international break. So yeah, chat to you all again soon. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll be back very soon. Mind yourselves and mind each other.